Hi, it's Gadget UK here again. Something a little bit different, a tool this time, and it's a reasonably cheap Chinese one. It's had, I think, 4.5 star reviews, but yeah, you read some of the reviews and the first page just says loads of negatives and you're like, how on earth has it got 4.5 stars when it's got loads of 1 stars at the top? So yeah, and they're all like that. So you get these stencils with it. It's an engraving slash, what's the word, grinding pen. Yeah, I've wanted a grinding pen for a while, since I saw one on my mate Vince's channel. I think one was donated to Vince, and he's used it a number of times, and they're really good. They're really good for specific things. So, like, I think the way I've seen Vince using it is, you know, on tracers, corroded tracers, you get all the different tips here, look. And in pins, you get a little 25 way or I don't know, some connector that's got a corroded pin. You can actually get these, they're so fine, you can get it into the hole and just slightly grind away. Now bear in mind, on connectors and things like that, they're often gold plated, so you know that's a very, very, very last resort. Maybe on the sort of connector that's not that easy to replace. I quite like the number of different tips here. It's incredible how many different ones there are. So I'm going to get a super, super, super fine one, like that one for example. Try and work out how to get this in. Now, you know me, I never read the instructions. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, it's very Dremel-ish this, isn't it? I suspect my Dremel bits might even fit this, because it's all about, you know, look, you got one of these, you have one of these with a Dremel. That looks exactly the same size as my Dremel, which you can fit into there. You know, you probably have to adjust this somehow to get that to go in. And then you can put cutting discs on it, just the same as a Dremel, or polishing discs. I've got loads of different bits for the Dremel. We've got a drill bit there, which is interesting, so you could, you know, use this as a drill as well. Another one there, look. That's nice to get these extra bits with it. They're probably not very high quality. Probably like shatter as soon as you first use it. So anyway, let's see if we can work out how this works. Like, how do you press the button there? You know, often on a Dremel there'll be a button here to lock this so that you can turn it. Well, there isn't here, so how'd you get the bit on? Yeah, you just know it's going to be a fun quality product when you've got to use a microscope to work out what the hell you're doing with it. Like, what's that? That black thing. I don't know, it doesn't look like a screw, does it? It just looks like a solid black filled cavity. I'm not even sure if it's a hex-shaped one. I don't know, it's not a screw. I thought this was going to be easy. I really thought this was going to be easy. I thought it should be like push it in and we're away, but, well, clearly not. And you know what? It did just strike me that maybe this is the Allen key. Like, maybe they store it in the end here. It's blocking the USB charge port, look. How'd you get it out? Yeah, that's what that is, isn't it? Honestly. You'd think they'd explain that. You'd think it'd say, number 1, remove the Allen key from the end of the device. Like, is that going round? I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know. That doesn't even feel like it wants to go in. And the thing is, there's 2 of these, isn't there? Or there are. So, have you got to undo both of them? This is just the most craziest design ever. Oh my god. I like the way it rotates when you're trying to do it. That's another fun thing. Right, you're gonna lose those, aren't you, Chris? That's what's gonna happen. There we go, it's going in. It's going in. Right, quick, tighten up before I lose anything. And of course, because there are 2 of these, what makes it sit centrally? Apart from you getting them equidistantly screwed in. So in other words, you could get an offset when you've got 2 things like this to secure something. You could get the thing, you know, offset a little bit, and then when you switch it on, it's going to go, it's going to wobble around instead of just spinning. So hey, well, let's see what happens with that. Switch it on. It's interesting how you switch it off and on. You just press it once, on, once for certain speed, and then off. And if you press it lots of times, you seem to be able to get the speeds. How you get these 3 speeds here, I don't know. You're going to go tap, 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 tap. don't know. Anyway, it seems to be spinning nicely there. Yeah, I don't want to grind my fingers. So, yeah, we need to give it a go. So, USB-C by the looks of things, the charge thing on this. So I need to use, obviously, like a 5-volt USB charger. It's got the world's shortest charge cable, look. Let's just see how that fits. Yeah, nice click as well. Wish my phone engaged like that when I connect to the USB-C. It doesn't. My phone cable, I have to sponge it all over the place to try and get a charge. So now I need to try and find something to do with it. Now the big problem is I've got no corroded boards to hand. It's ironic because like the other week I was working on an A500 and /A600 corroded boards. This would have been perfect to use on those. So yeah, I'll report back in a minute when I work out what I'm going to do with it. Right, I found some pretty trusty connectors. So you can see this is from an Amiga, I think. It might be an Archimedes. But I mean, the pins look great, look. Perfect pins, even down here. The pins look pretty darn good. Very little in the way of corrosion. But look at the plate on the front. See all that? So let's just have a go. Let's just switch it on. And let's try bring this in and just see what we can do. Oh my god, this is going to be a game changer. I mean, obviously, we've got a really small surface area here with the tool I'm using at the moment, the bit. But any of these little corroded, the oxidised bits, look. I think we can say with some time I could use this to clean little bits of corrosion off things. Let's go up to the next speed. Hang on. Obviously, it's going to be hopefully way more effective at a slightly higher RPM. Yeah, look, all those bits of corrosion coming off there. And obviously you put it slightly lengthways there, you get, there you go, a wider area. Look at that. Wow, that's going to be really cool for cleaning up crappy connectors. And of course, these things, if they're not treated, will just corrode again, but I actually think this is the type of metal, once it's cleaned up, it'll probably stay clean, to be fair. I'm very, very pleased with that. I mean, how long it'll last remains to be seen. Right, let's just try and get some focus and just have a look at what difference that's made. Yeah, I think you'll agree. That ain't done a bad job. I mean, look at it up here. That's not bad at all. Let's just wipe over that with a cotton bud and some IPA. I mean, it's one of those things you could multi-pass something like this. You know, you can now soak that in a bit of vinegar for a few minutes and then grind it. Let's have a go at that really green bit. Let's go second speed. And again, let's just come in gently here and just see. And this is the thing, you can get right into little gaps like that, look. I'm not sure what this metal is as well. It's like a really shiny metal, isn't it? It's like, this is why I think that wouldn't corrode again. I don't know whether it's like some sort of magnesium based thing or something. It's an alloy. It's not just steel or iron or something, because you know what, that wouldn't have cleaned up like that if that was just rust. You know, just looking at this with the naked eye, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'll let you look down at this in a minute so you can see. It looks new. So granted, you can't see very well from that distance, but look at this here that we've just done compared to say up here where it's all dark and dull. Yeah, you could wipe over that with some machine oil or some WD-40, and I reckon that is good enough to use. I mean, we can get right onto these as well, because this is the other thing with these are quite hard to clean. So let's just have a wee look at those. Not too bad on this one. Sometimes those get awful. Yeah, and here's a little bit I've just done in the middle. Look how bad the edges are. It's working so well. Let's try and go up to the next speed. So I'm at higher speed here now. Highest, I think. Right, easily spent half an hour on that, just wiped over it with some WD-40. It looks good as new, it really does. Yeah, there's the odd little imperfection in the shape of the surface, but it's nice and silver. I've got most of the stuff off there. There are a few places where I could just give it another pass, but do you know what, compared to as that was, that's usable. I could stick that on something, and I probably will do at some point. Anyway, I'm going to clean the bench up now, because I've got this dust everywhere. Yeah, that's the rust that came off it. And we'll charge it up. So, let's connect this up. I need to unplug the Allen key to do that. I might be able to, yeah, plug the Allen key in backwards or something like that, just to leave it there, because I'm going to lose that if I don't connect that in there. Yeah, and then under here, I'm going to need a USB charger here, but the lights are strobing there, so we'll just give that 20 or 30 minutes to charge up. But I mean, I've just used it continuously for half an hour, and it's still working really well. Right, so here's another potential use case. Just like the Dremel, we've got a pin missing on the chip here. That pin there looks like it's going to break off, if I'm honest. They're awful, these. Anyway, from AliExpress and AliExpress Special. Pin missing. So let's get a larger grinding bit out here. Yeah, so I'm going to get one of these little ball type points, and we'll swap it over. So let's get a tool out of that. What I do like about this is the convenience, the fact it's just handheld, you know, battery powered. You could use this on your car. If you had some sort of corroded power connector or even a spot of rust somewhere on your car, yeah, you could use this outside really easily. Anywhere else outside the house for that matter. It doesn't necessarily need to be your car. Anything where you've got a connection on something electrical or otherwise. Even on a padlock on a gate or something, you've got some corrosion on it, you could use this to grind the rust off. I think they're brilliant. I really do. And I'm amazed how central that stays. They're very precision engineered from what I can see. So anyway, I'm now going to just crank the speed up and see if I can grind the plastic away here to expose some of that pin. I'll show you on a microscope. Yeah, so it's like the, you know, the power and flexibility of something like a Dremel, well, without the complexity of getting the Dremel out and having a mains lead for it. You don't need to. You could just use something like this. I just want to get a little bit more exposed there. I can't really still see what I'm doing. It feels to me like we've still got something on the surface of it here. Yeah, and as you can see, it works. Yeah, so I fixed that RAM perfectly, and this is really good. I really like it. As I say, I like the portability. Seems to only have 3 speeds. I need to read the manual. Not sure whether there are 6 LEDs there. Not sure what these 3 indicate. Maybe the battery level. I think those are the battery level, aren't they? But how'd you go beyond there? I don't know. Why has it got 3 notches? Maybe I'll hold it down. Hold it down again. Hold it down again. Nope. So I don't know why it's got 6 notches there. Yeah, not that it's really relevant to my channel. I thought I'd just show these stencils and stuff as well. So I'm not sure if these are made from like a hardened plastic. You'd probably have to be careful with them, but you know, you've got letters and symbols, hearts, there's all sorts of things here. So I'm a little cat or dog footprints. I'm ever going to use these, I don't know. some like italics and stuff, script type, different fonts, wavy lines. Yeah, it's amazing how many of these you get. I'm just wondering, shall I try and put a G on my screwdriver there? Let's have a go at that. It's rubber, so that's going to be an interesting one. In fact, that's probably a bad use case actually. Rubber ain't going to grind very well. It's just going to go melty and horrible. Let's have a look at these ones. Yeah, I mean, what's the practical use in retro? You could put a fern on your Amiga or something if you wanted to. Please don't Dremel your Amiga cases. But like for 3D print parts and stuff you could do, you know, you could, I don't know, engrave a pattern on it, or... You can't really think how you would use those in this line of play. I was going to say work, it's not really work, is it? That L's still in there, look. Yeah, and they got punched out at manufacture. Now it's gone. But in a hardened surface, these would work quite well. I tell you what, let's just take one of these fake chips. Here we go. These are from the same video you just saw me fix that other chip, actually. Let's engrave a G onto the, or FF for fake, or even an X. Let's do an X because I've written some X's on there. Let's I'll bring the microscope down. Let's try engraving that chip. Hang on, we'll go full speed here. Yeah, and when I charged it before, it's lasted blooming ages. I'm talking like an hour of use and it still works. So obviously you'd want to use some magnification when you're using these stencils this way perhaps, and try and stay away from the very edge. But it seems pretty hardy, look, it's grinding the thing and not grinding the stencil so much. But I would imagine those stencils will wear, certainly if you don't get the right angle. And of course you can make your own stencils. Yeah, trying to get it at equal distance is a bit difficult. And bear in mind, if I was using the rounded tip now rather than this pointy one, it would probably come out better. You know, it's going to be a bit uneven, I think. Hang on. Oh, the microscope's getting in the way. I could move the microscope higher. There we go. There's no disputing that that's faulty now. I've ground that in there. So yeah, I think it'd be pretty hard to stencil cleanly, because you've got no, unless you use a tip that is as wide as the stencil, you know, a big ballpoint tip, and being careful and going over at a certain speed to get a regular depth, you know, and pass, an equal pass. Because this is the thing, you can tell we're not being equal. It might be easier just to go over it like this and try and equalise it where it needs it. You know, you could occasionally wipe over it that way, and then it might just come out a little bit better. You know, you've got a bit more control when you've not got the stencil there, look. Still looking a bit bodgy, isn't it? So for engraving purposes, yeah, some practice would be needed to get good at it. It's far better for removing rust, cleaning up metallic surfaces where they're oxidised, you know, rusted. And I think on a car, yeah, alright, you wouldn't want to take it to your really posh paint job on your car, but let's say you did have a small spot of rust. You know, you've seen that if you use this in a controlled way, just gently like this, just over a little area, you can just remove the faintest amount from a surface. So you could do that. You could remove a spot of rust on your car and then just touch it up with some paint. Or you could use it on some dodgy power connector somewhere. You know, there's a common in cars, caravans, where you got a corrosion. You know, they're outside in the elements and stuff. You could use it to clean that up, or a padlock, or a hinge on a gate, or anything really. So yeah, I think they're brilliant. But in any case, it works really, really well. I like this. I realise this has got to go this way up. This solid piece of plastic here, if you can see in the inside, it kind of just holds them flat with the spongy thing. So I put the drill bits and the other bits and things in here just so they don't get lost. It's a bit of an oversight really, from the seller's perspective that if this was a bit bigger and had a fitting inside there, you could actually store it in there. So it's like, why not make a bigger thing and then have somewhere for the drill bits and the, I don't know, the other things. These have just been thrown in, I think. Those are additional things that this seller has added in to make this more appealable or marketable, I guess, you know, compared to the other ones. Because there's loads of sellers of these, and there's loads of devices that look very, very similar. There'll be a link down below to the place I got this from on Amazon. As I say, it was about £17-ish, I think. I'm quite pleased with it, very pleased with it, in fact. The two things I've used it for so far works really well. Anyway, if you'd like to support the channel, please see the Coffee and Patreon links down below. Every dollar just means we can continue to do videos like this. It pays for tools like this and just keeps the videos going, really. So I can't thank you all enough for the level of support that you provide to keep the channel going. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next video.